All right, so we should be live right now, but before we kind of get this interview underway, is there anything that you want to plug or anybody you want to shout out?
Uh, Nobody really. I mean, my game point coach, Coach Charlie, and my high school coach, Coach Dante. Those are my guys. So,
Yeah, for sure. Well, I guess first things first, we got to talk about, I guess, something that's pretty important. Uh, I mean, you're committed to Yale, which is obviously a very big deal. I don't really know, like, well, I mean, when did you decide to make that decision?
um, I mean, really, when I was winding down my choices, I had a lot of good offers. A lot of good relationship with coaches, and at the end of the day, I wanted to go somewhere where it helped me beneficially for my future academically. And able to make a life changing impact, and also being able to play at the highest level at the same time with basketball too. So ever since I was little, that was always the main goals, and I feel like Yale is definitely the best choice for me. So I feel like I made a great decision.
Yeah. And when you were like just kind of coming down and narrowing the schools, I mean, where else were you considering going to if it wasn't for Yale?
My other top schools were Yale, Dartmouth, Boston, Rice, New Mexico. Um, I think those are around my top schools. I can't remember too much. I committed a few months ago, so but those are around some of the top schools I had for my because I went it down to a top six. So, all the coaches put in a lot of time and effort. I appreciate all of them, but obviously, I feel like I made the right choice.
Yeah, and I guess kind of a quick question, unless you want to maybe add on to this. So I know, I mean, Boston's a good school, Rice is a good school, Dartmouth's a good school. Then you obviously committed to Yale, it's also another good school. So was it more maybe like basketball you were considering when you were like, which school should I go to? Because academically, like they're all pretty up there at the same level.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Yale is a top school. Obviously academically, you can go on and on talking about that, but basketball wise, they've been playing at a very high level the past few years. Have a really good coaching staff. Sorry, with Coach Jones, obviously, so they make it to the championship. They make it to the Ivy League championship. They make it to the tournament. So I just wanted a chance to play at the highest level. Have that opportunity, and I feel like I'm gonna have my I'm gonna be able to make a good impact there, and just good for my future.
Yeah, and Yale is obviously, or I guess the Ivy League. Like, there's a thing. I used to buy this sports book that would kind of have like a bunch of stuff about like it would recap like the year in sports for like every single major sport. When
Yeah,
I was in elementary school, I remember like for college basketball one year, like I think the Ivy League, it was either like Yale or Harvard, maybe Princeton hopped in the tournament a couple of times. Like they just kept on at least winning like their first round game, and it was always against a high major opponent because they
for
gave them like
sure.
a low seed. So I mean, the Ivy League's obviously very, very legit basketball conference. The players are obviously good. So I mean, what do you really expect your role to be? You think you're going to be getting a lot of playing time? You think you're going to be more learning the season? How do you expect that to go down?
Obviously I expect to go there and, make an impact from the beginning, but, I'm just gonna go there, do whatever the coaches need me to do, and just wherever it fits in for me, whatever they need me to do, score, pass, be a leader at all times, whatever I have to do, I'm gonna do. So for me, it's all about winning, and I just want to go there, make an impact, and help win right from the beginning.
And off the court, I mean, you're going to Yale. Obviously, you know that you want to, go do something, I guess, good in life. If it's not basketball, again, that school is very, very well known. Do you have any idea like what you plan on studying or not yet?
I plan on studying economics, so majoring in that. For me, I just feel like with that major, especially coming from a prestigious school like Yale, it's so just dynamic, because I don't know exactly what I want to do afterwards, after college yet. So it gives me time to think about that, and it's just I go so many different pathways with that degree. It doesn't just limit me to one thing. So, I mean, I feel like with that, it's just gonna allow me to be very diverse and for my future after basketball.
Yeah, and that definitely is that's pretty smart. Like for me, like I wanted to do, or I think I for like basically half the schools I applied to, I put down sports management, and the other half I put down like marketing. Like not, I didn't really pick like oh this one I feel like sports management would be, but I was kind of was like, I'll put marketing for this, do sports management for that because I feel like that's the thing. Sports management almost like traps you in a way. Then if you do
Yeah, for
marketing,
sure.
I could do something with sports. I could do
Leads you
something
so
with
many different pathways.
exactly. That's why like, it is very smart. But I guess for recruits, I guess an overall general recruit question: did you think about this when you're picking Yale? Like, were you trying to see who had like maybe a better program for what you wanted to study, or did you find that out maybe after the fact that you're like, I want to study this? Like, were you out considering like majors when you were looking at different schools? Which one had the best? It's the best school for your major.
Well, for me, I wanted to either major in something with business or economics or something around that. So I feel all the schools that I really wanted down had those degrees pretty top notch, you know. But obviously Yale, that's one of like the main most popular degrees that are gotten from there. So I mean, obviously, just a degree from Yale, especially in economics, is just gonna help me in the long run a lot, you know. So for
Mhm.
sure, looked at that.
Yeah. And then I mean, I'm sure we kind of assume, and you definitely probably touched on, but like, what are you looking forward to most? I guess, about your experience at Yale and your experience at college.
Obviously, playing basketball and winning, you know, that's where my heart is. But just the people I'm going to meet there, the relationships I'm going to make for years on end, you know, with my future. So obviously meeting people there, and you know, it's going to be some of the top-notch people around the whole entire not the country and the world. So just surrounding myself with that is just going to help me better myself, you know, and really grateful to have that opportunity.
And I'm sure you know like football. I mean, the guy Trevor Lawrence, who used to be at Clemson, who now thinks with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't know why. This is something that I'll never forget. Like, I think someone asked him, how are the girls at Clemson? He's like, oh, like there's hot girls everywhere. So I'm sure like it's great whatever school you go to. So, but I mean, I guess the Ivy League, like those schools, kind of have a reputation like very serious, like not that fun, like just very very hard school. I mean, how do you think you're really gonna handle that? And like what do you think that's going to be like in terms of you being at an Ivy League school where at least the stereotype is that like just super serious?
Yeah, I mean, for me, especially going on my official visit, because I went on my official visit and I got to hang out with the guys, you know, visit the campus, all that stuff. So for me, I also thought it was going to be like sort of the same thing, like real serious. Everyone walk around like in suits and ties, you know, all the time. But you know, obviously there's some of those people, but it's a pretty chill school. You know, it wasn't really what I thought it would be. You know, the people are pretty normal. They just handle their business, you know. So surrounding myself around good people like that and make good decisions is just, you know, just gonna help me keep my path, you know.
Yeah, and something that's going to be definitely really different. For well, a lot of things are probably going to be really different over there, compared to you being at school in California. But you live in California, Yale's all the way in Connecticut. That's pretty far away. I mean, how are you
Yeah.
going to really handle that move? And when because I think you said like New Mexico or something like that you were considering. It's probably much closer. Even Rice is a little bit closer. So picking Yale, that's a far distance. Was that maybe like one kind of negative factor, or do you want to go far away from home? Like, how are you going to really, I guess, how'd you really come down to that?
I mean, for me, I wanted to, you know, make the best decision for the long run for me, you know, for my future and obviously for my future and my family's future and what I can provide, you know. So, um, you know, regardless of where it was, I was going to make the sacrifice in order to go wherever school I felt was best. And, you know, it being on the East Coast, you know, I've always wanted to have like all four seasons. And obviously in California, I mean, get a little bit of rain here, but nothing like it's like over there, you know. So I'm actually pretty excited for the experience to go over there, you know, experience all four seasons, you know, real snow, real rain, you know, real coldness. So I'm actually really excited about it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, like, cause I was talking to these managers at Greensboro Day. I don't know if you know that school, but I was at City of
Yeah.
Palms and they were there. And I was talking to them. I'm like, oh, I went to North Carolina. Like, it was sick. Like, I liked it a lot. I was like, oh, I went to the summertime though. But like, you guys had like all the seasons, everything. Like, yeah, like we got a bunch of like all the seasons. Like, it kind of sucks. Like when it gets cold and everything. Like, I can't imagine, especially in Connecticut. Like, that's definitely
Yeah,
gonna be very, very cold. Like, I can't imagine being
for sure.
excited for that at all. Like that's probably gonna be like negative, like crazy negatives. That's actually gonna
Yeah,
be a very
it
insane
is, but
problem.
you know, I've always wanted to experience that though, like all four seasons,
Yeah.
you know, and you know, being able to actually wear like a bunch of clothes, a bunch of layers, stuff like that. So,
Mhm.
I mean, for me, I don't think, I mean, I don't know yet, obviously, because I haven't experienced it, but for me right now, I'm kind of excited for it. We'll see, you know, after a year, 2 years, if I'm still liking all that coldness, you know. So,
Yeah. But I guess at the end of the day, like, I mean, I never really heard. Well, I don't know anyone that goes to Yale, but I don't really hear bad things about going to Yale. So I'm sure even if the
yeah,
weather maybe sucks for a certain amount of time, like it's probably kind of worth it. Worth it in the end, I would assume.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah. But then continuing on in the interview, so I guess you really kind of got your career process out of the way. So just how does it feel kind of getting into the high school season, just not really having to worry about that and just playing your game?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, I'm looking forward to all that stuff in college, but definitely looking forward to finishing this high school season. About a little bit less than midway through the season, probably. So, just finishing out the season right. For me, it's all about winning. So, I want to win a CIF championship this year, go for a state championship. So, just finishing it right with my guys. My guys over here at San Marcos and my coaches and stuff. And it's been a good season so far, and I'm ready to keep it going.
Yeah. What's the difference between a CIF championship and like the state championship? Is one like at a lower level than the other one?
So it's basically I didn't know if they don't have like those different like little champion. They just have like league championships in other states. But I think it's because California is like so big that they have like
Mhm.
different sections. So like the main section, so San Diego section, and there's like a southern section, and then there's like um, I think there's a couple other sections in Northern California or wherever. And there's basically different sections for that, and then you play basically like a state championship for that, and like playoffs and stuff like that. And that would be so for us, for my school, it would be in the CIF of San Diego section, and then that's a CIF title, and then obviously state championship, state playoffs is right after that. So
Yeah. And then I'm assuming it's like whoever wins from like the same section, the same kind of class will then face off against the other team from the
the
other
other top
section.
teams,
Championship.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it'd be like all the
Yeah.
top teams, they just rank it in the playoffs, the seeding, all that, and then you have like your state playoffs and all the different divisions too for that.
Yeah. There's obviously not like one state champion for the whole state. Like there's multiple, right?
Yeah, there's obviously open division, D1, D2, D3. I think they have like D1. I think there's a lot. I think there's like yeah, I don't know exactly how many, but there's a lot
Yeah.
of
So then for the CIF, if when you're like winning that, is that against schools? Again, although all in the same area, are they in all the different like the D1s, the open divisions? Like, are you going against all those schools for that CIF, or is it only the ones that are like all the D1s in San
yeah,
Diego? Is that one?
so they have it's basically the same thing as state. So there's open division was obviously the best, and then
Okay.
D1, D2, D3. So it's the same thing basically, just a more condensed
Yeah.
scenario.
That's kind of how it is in every state, but I'm not sure if like I mean for Florida, like there's like districts. So it's
Mhm.
like there'll be, kind of 4 or 5 teams in your area. Some are kind of local, some aren't. It's kind of split it up, I guess, based off size of the school and area,
Yeah,
obviously. So then you win that, you get a trophy. Then from there, you go on to the region. So I think
yeah,
there's like 7 regions. Then you win that, but I don't even know if you get a trophy. That'll probably be considered to the CIF, and then you go to states. And then you'll play like whoever won the same region as you from
yeah. So
what part of
basically the
Florida.
same thing.
Yeah, yeah, it's all kind of the same thing. But is your team are you guys in the open division or what division are you guys
Yeah,
in?
yeah. We'll be in open division. We'll be most likely probably a 1 or 2 seed this year. So we're a top team out here, and just looking forward to winning. Obviously the plan is win the championship. So just gotta keep working hard. I feel like me and my team can do it.
Yeah, so I mean, you said open division's the best one. Is that the one that has Sierra Canyon and I think Rancho
So
Christian, all those schools?
so they're in the southern section. We're in the San Diego section. We would face them in playoffs if it was in
Yeah,
state
okay.
playoffs.
Okay. So yeah, so they are like an open division, but they're obviously not in
Yeah,
your section. All right, sick,
yeah.
sick. So I mean, kind of having to have you faced, I guess, any of those, really big and popular California teams before, like ever throughout your high school career, or if you go to states, that
Um,
probably be the first time.
I mean, we just played Heritage Christian earlier this year. They have a lot of top guys over there, and we played this last year in state playoffs. We played Rebay Academy. They're not a school anymore, but last year they were a really good school. A lot of good guys. I think they had like five. I think they had Trey White, and then a
Yeah.
couple of some a guy that committed to Seton Hall. He's there now, so they have some top guys over there. So we played some pretty good teams. Um, Coach is always trying to have us compete at the top level. So we're ready for once it comes time for playoffs. So we're not like starstruck of a really good team.
Yeah, and I like how you said the word starstruck, specifically star, because California, or at least like the Lakers, they'll call them the Showtime Lakers. And I mean, you and I both know respectfully, like you're not as famous as Bronny James, but California is kind of known for the Showtime. A lot of guys, in the past, I mean, like
Yeah,
Josh Christopher was there, Dior Johnson, all the highlight plays. Jalen Green played in California for a little bit. I mean, you'll see like Polo G going a Sierra King. I mean, literally Drake kind of featured Sierra King in his song. Like obviously, California Hoops is a little more
yeah,
showy. A little, I guess, is that? Do you agree with that statement, or is maybe just kind of
yeah,
that
yeah. I
specifically,
mean,
or just specifically?
I feel like there's a lot of media, like like in certain areas, but for me, I always like really like didn't really pay too much attention to all that stuff, like rankings or stuff like that, or a bunch of media, this or that. It's just for me, it's just getting down to business, playing, and just trying to win. Lead my team. So obviously lead them, try to win, and better my future. So
Yeah. Would you say though? I guess the California style of play is a lot more flashy compared to other states, or would you say it's actually like? I mean, I guess what would you consider the style of play to be then?
I feel like obviously some teams could be more flashy than others, but in general, I feel like it's pretty similar. Other states are a little bit more, some states are a little bit more physical, and different areas in California are a little bit more physical. So I feel like really, it's all pretty similar. So I mean, some teams may more than others, but in general, I wouldn't say it's like a lot more flashy.
Yeah. So then, how would you kind of consider, I guess, your area, California? What are you guys like?
I would say there's a lot more, or really like a lot of skilled players in the San Diego section. A lot of skilled players, coach really well. There's some really good coaches around here, and um, so I mean, I feel like a lot of guard heavy area too. So I mean, there's top bigs over here, but it's really guard heavy, good shooting team, well coached, tough teams to play against. So it's always a tough game out here. It's really, especially with the schedule our coach gives us. He doesn't really give us no gimme games, so it's always going to be a
Mhm.
tough game.
And now moving on to AAU basketball, you shot at your AAU program, Game Point Pass Basketball. So obviously they probably did a lot for you. Just kind of what does that team mean to you? Since now I guess you're done playing with them.
Well, I was playing with them since eighth grade, so Um, game point, obviously, Coach Charlie mainly helped me, with all my recruitment really, and put me in good positions in order to succeed. Give me the opportunities I needed, in order to show my skill set, what I can do. So means a lot. Without them, without Coach Charlie, then I wouldn't really be the player I am now. So pushed me to my limits. So really grateful for all that.
Yeah. Are they a 3SSB team, or are they a circuit team at all, or just independent?
Yeah, they're an Adidas Gold team.
Okay, so that's like the one below, like the 3SSB, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, like they have pretty valid basketball players, like including yourself. So kind of, how did you at all have, I guess you could say, any doubt on the like? Were you considering ever leaving to go to a higher AAU program, or did you almost just trust the process and knew that you were a good basketball player and that there was good people over there? Because obviously, like you want to play on that highest exposure stage. So like you could even say it was like a risk for your recruitment almost, but it's obviously ended up paying off. So were you all battling like those kinds of thoughts?
For me, it was really never really about that. I felt like I was always in the position in order to succeed. I was in the coaches that I needed to be in front of in order to, do what I needed to do. So, the opportunities are there. I feel like really, if you're a good enough player, you can really get anywhere. So, I mean, if you have the opportunities in order to go there, which I feel like I definitely had, um, then you'll definitely be able to do what you have to do. So, obviously, I feel like we were a really top team too. We had some other good guys on our team. Um, my guy Otto goes to Torrey Pines around here. He's committed to Boston U, so
Mhm.
um, plays with some good players too. Going against top players. So it was really fun.
Yeah, and I mean, you just said that he's committed to Boston University, which is another very very highly academic school. Do you just surround yourself with like a lot of smart basketball players? Or is that kind of coincidence that he's also pretty smart and going to a highly academic school as well?
I mean, I would say it's kind of like coincidence. I try to surround myself around good people. So but he's a cool guy. We had a good time playing together. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, would you like? always set like do you think you're like are I guess how I mean how smart are you? Like are you like really, really, really smart or I'm just like really curious kind of how high I guess your IQ is.
Yeah, I wouldn't say, I never like to say like I'm like crazy smart or anything, but I
Yeah.
feel like I'm pretty solid. I get like 4.0 in school, so
Mhm.
pretty solid. Just handle my business. Never really really lose track of like the goal. The end goal. I want to have a successful future. So on the court and off the court, I try to perform my best as I can do. So um, clearly it's helping, and I'm gonna just keep working hard.
Yeah, since you're a senior now, and I guess you're heading into your this final half of your high school career. Not even final half, is final. Well, let's see. So there's like 4 quarters. I'm not doing the math. I don't feel like it, but like your final like semester of your school career. Would you say school's kind of gotten a little easier for you at this point?
Really, I feel like it's just kind of like it's like obviously you could take like really hard classes, all that, but I feel like it's just adjusting. So as like the years go on, I feel like it gets a little easier, and now it's like I'm taking hard classes and stuff, but it's really like the easiest I feel like it's been because I feel like I'm maturing a lot more. I'm more focused of what I need to do when I have to do it. Procrastination, not procrastinating
Yeah.
stuff. So I would just say like a lot of people say like high school gets easier and stuff, but I feel like it's really just you maturing. Being able to sort out your time and when to do stuff. So but I'm just looking forward to closing it out on a good note, especially this season.
hmm And I don't know if maybe have like any sort of insight on this, but I know. I mean, you almost answered it. How like I wouldn't ask, oh, how'd you just to high school and doing well and playing basketball? You would have been like, oh, I would manage my time good. I got ahead on work, whatever. But now college, I mean, you and I, but we both don't know what that work is gonna be like. Kind of how that is. Do you have any idea how the college work and school is gonna be like? And if you do or if you don't, like, how do you think you're gonna handle that? And being a D1 athlete because a D1 athlete is like a whole other level of commitment.
For sure. Um, Obviously, I don't know completely what it's going to be like, but I'm assuming obviously there's going to be a pretty good workload, but at the same time, it's just handling your time. When to do things. With all the stuff provided to all the tutors, all the help I'm going to have. I think I'll be fine. So I'm just looking forward to it, and it'll be cool.
Yeah, I think those two. I mean, if I was an athlete, bro, if I had like the tutors are probably gonna be pretty clutch for sure. Because it
For
seemed like
sure.
pretty like because I would see. I remember I think at Oklahoma State they have like one. I mean, I don't know what the budget's like at Yale, but obviously Oklahoma State's like a high major program. I think they had like one. I think it was like a lady, and she was in charge of I guess managing each athlete's kind of homework in a way. Like if I had someone
Mhm.
to schedule when I need to do my homework and when and like break it up for me, like
Yeah,
that would be so nice. Like
for
it's
sure.
probably gonna be pretty nice having those resources.
For sure.
Yeah, yeah, it should definitely be pretty good for sure. But I guess we're kind of nearing the end of the interview. I don't really have, I guess, much I need to ask. There's a couple more things. I guess something you did was pretty cool. You obviously have more points than this and assists, but you hit the 1,500 point mark and the 400 assist mark. Just how that kind of feel to get that accomplishment.
It was really cool. So I wasn't really paying too much attention about it, until like kind of now, but when that happened, it's just a good milestone for me, obviously playing varsity and starting all 4 years. So looking at what I accomplished is pretty cool, So um, I'm trying to become the all-time leading scorer in my school. So it's like if I hit 2,000, that'll be the all-time lead scorer. I'm nearing that now. So I think as long as we get all our games like for the rest of the season and nothing really gets canceled, and stuff like that, then I'll definitely reach that. So looking forward to that and obviously winning. So
Yeah. And I guess this question, I don't even know if it's gonna make sense, but I mean, scoring obviously means that you have to have the ball in your hands, then also have 400 assists. Like, I mean, are you putting up literally like insane numbers every single night, or how do you kind of score a bunch? Then you're also passing the ball a bunch.
for me, it's just whatever my team needs. So, different nights, I need to do different things. Some nights I need to score a lot. Some nights maybe I need to just draw the defense and kick it out a lot. So it's just being consistent, really, and always being ready to go every single night, and just leading my team and whatever my coaches and what my team needs me to do, then that's what I'm going to do that night. So
Yeah, just how cool would that be to you? You know, if you end up being your school's leading scoring leader, where then any player in the future of the school, you know, the school could be like, you know, 100 years down the line, we could all be dead, and kids are still trying to kind of beat your record, or that like knowing you kind of have that legacy.
For sure. I mean, obviously, it's going to be really cool. You know, it'd be a big accomplishment. You know, my high school coach is always, Coach Dante's always talking to me about leaving a legacy, and you want to leave a legacy when you leave this school. You know, I feel like that's what I'm going to be trying to do. So it'll be really cool. You know, for all the kids in the future looking up. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, and I really like I don't like getting into the negatives, but you kind of I guess talked about it a little bit with possibilities of Corona like ending the season for I guess everyone all across the country. What do you really think about that? You think there's a good chance of that happening? Like what do you really think about that?
I mean, for me, I really don't know. I don't think the entire season will get canceled, but some games can. You know, for us, a couple games have already got canceled. Because obviously you can control what you can control, but at the same time, you can't control other teams or stuff like that. So I mean, just staying safe. You know, everyone's staying safe, doing what they're supposed to do, nothing too crazy, and I think we'll be fine. You know, so just want to finish this season off right.
For sure. And now to end it on more positive note, you mentioned how your coach addresses building a legacy and leaving a legacy. So what would you want your legacy to be like once you step away from the game of basketball?
I just want to know that I put everything my 100% into it. Whether that's finishing my college career, playing pro. So it's just me knowing I put my 110% into it, and knowing I step away. I did all that I could in order to be the best player I could be, and just basically moving on to my next aspect in life. So for me, that's really what I want to leave my legacy at.
For sure. Well, anyways, bro, really, really appreciate you coming on, taking the time, letting me interview you. Definitely means a lot. But before we get the interview, make sure you guys give us both a follow on Instagram. His is just his name, Devon Arlington with an underscore, and mine's at iHoopsFL. And anyways, for 2022, San Marcos High School point guard and Yale University commit, Devon Arlington. I'm Isaac Fleischer, and this has been another iHoopsFL interview. Peace out, guys.